Hey guys, Ashley Hartford here. I am starting a new series in our group. It's going to be every Tuesday, and we're calling it te- I can't remember Teaching Technique Tuesdays. So yesterday, if you're on our email list, you would have gotten kind of a initial sneak peek at what this is all about, and you can also find it on our blog, which is on oub.dance /blog. So we're gonna do Turnout today, and Turnout seems like a pretty simple thing, but I think I've found that a lot of people are trying to have their little dancers turn out too soon, at too young of an age. So at Once Upon a Ballet, we recommend that 2 and 3-year-olds stay in parallel. If they're 3, you can teach them like first and second position, just as the positions like standing in first or second, but we don't actually have them do movement in with Turnout. When they're 4, we can start introducing what we call slight turnout, and this is where their feet make more of a V. So it's not, full turnout. It's more of just a V. And if you do have a 3 to 5-year-old class, definitely just use your discretion. Sometimes you'll have a 3 to 5-year-old class that is like a younger class where most of them are 3. In that case, I'd keep them in parallel. But you might have a class that's, mostly 4 and 5-year-olds, and in that case, you can begin to introduce turnout. And again, it is only a slight turnout at this age if you do introduce it, and that's about 45 degrees. Then for 5 and 6-year-olds, or even a 7-year-old, if you have them in our 5 to 7-year-old classes, we recommend natural turnout. So this is a little bit more, this is more like a 90-degree angle instead of that 45-degree angle. But of course, don't force it. If you have a child who turnout is really difficult for them and they need to do less so they can stand up and balance and have good posture, then at this age, like less turnout, as long as they're doing things correctly, is perfectly okay. When we get to our 7-year-olds, like our true beginning ballet classes, so if you have our old Once Upon a Ballet curriculum, this would be the 7 to 9-year-old group, where they're actually standing at a bar. They do bar for the first part of class, and then they do like an actual center. It's a little bit more of a traditional class than how we have the activities laid out for the younger groups. This is where we start working on, they can start at the 90 degrees and then have them use their turnout correctly, have it come from their hips. They should not be forcing their turnout ever. They should always use their muscles and engage what they have and use their personal maximum turnout. So we're going to just go through the sheet, and then I'm going to show you a couple of things. So age-appropriate images and words to use. When in parallel, students' feet and legs, including the knees and ankles, should be together. Ask your students to make sure their knees and ankles are kissing, so they're actually touching, in order to make sure they're keeping their feet and legs together. So when your students do this, when they stand in parallel with their knees and ankles together, they are using their inner thighs to hold their legs together. And even though they're not in turnout, they're not turning out, they are engaging their inner thigh muscles, which helps them turn out later on. And that is one reason why we do continue to use parallel from time to time, even once we introduce turnout. Let's see, what else do we have? So very young children will sometimes focus too much on turning out, making it even more difficult to turn out. So in this case, this is one reason why we have them turn out a little bit later. If they are having trouble turning out, if you introduce it at the 4 or 5-year-old age group and they're still like overthinking it, you can have them just make it fun and tell them, hey, we're going to open our storybooks today, and our feet are our storybooks. Ready? We're gonna open in one page and the other page. Oh, let's close our storybooks. Can we open them again? One page, other page. And let's close our storybooks. Can you open them both at once? Ready? Open and close. And open and close. So you see, just make it fun. Keep the emphasis not on turning out. Keep it on some kind of an image, some kind of a game. Let's see what else do we have. You can also have, for the ages 5 and older, make them think of their legs as peppermint sticks. So this is that image of going around and around so that they are actually engaging their legs as they turn out. You want them to think of a spiral. They're going around and around. And then even actually they can think of a spiral going all the way down into the floor with their legs to help them stay grounded as they're turned out. And you can also, I don't know if I wrote it in here or not. You can also, if you have the TheraBands, you can have them wrap them around their legs so they can actually see what that looks like if you have students that need more of a visual representation. And finally, when they are working in Turnout, here are some things to think about. Let me make sure I get them all. So, turning out from the hips, right? Obviously, you want them to turn out at the hips, right? Their whole leg is turning out, and you'll know if they're actually turning out if when they plie, their knees are going over their toes. If their knees are going like this, then that's not correct, right? Their knees go over their toes. So their arches should be lifted. So when they are turning out, if they are rolling, this is a little bit of an exaggeration, but if they roll in like that, where their arches are on the floor, then they're obviously not using their turnout. They're trying to turn out too much. So you want to make sure their arches are lifted. You know, even if someone is flat-footed, if you look at them from the top, their foot is not going to be rolled in. It's going to be straight. And then the last one is their hips. So a lot of times when they turn out too much, they will break the neutral position of their hips, and then you get more like this, especially in plies, where they're sitting back. So you want them to, kind of like in plies, the knees going over the toes, their hips are going straight down, they're not sticking their bum out, right? So you can see when they're standing, if they're tilted, then it means they're not holding their turnout. And then in plies, sometimes they'll lose it like that. You want them to go straight down. So. And I apologize, my turnout is not what it used to be. So, let me see. Yeah, so those are our basic tips for teaching turnout. And next week, I think we are going to talk about, let me see, really fast. Turnout, we're going to talk about plies. So we're going to go through basically just all the basic technique steps, and then a couple of things like feet positions and arm positions. And I just want to give you a couple of tips. There are some of these that also have images and words that you can use to kind of encourage different steps to be done correctly. And yeah, so I hope it's helpful. And if you do like this, definitely comment below. Even if you just put a heart or a smiley face, just let me know that you like it. So that way we will keep doing them. So thank you.